Imagine you're in a small village, and you've been told about a mysterious creature, unlike anything you've known, called an elephant. You've never seen one, and neither has anyone else. So a group of you, blindfolded, decides to discover what it is by touch alone. You reach out and feel something long and smooth. It must be a snake, you think. Someone else touches the wide, flat surface of an ear and says, "No, it's like a fan." Another feels the sturdy leg and insists, "You're both wrong. It's like a tree trunk." Yet someone else touches its side and says, "It's a wall," while the one holding its tail declares, "Clearly, it's a rope." Each of you is certain you're right, yet none of you can see the whole picture. Isn't that how truth often feels? We cling to the part we can touch, the piece we understand, convinced it's the whole story. But what if it's not? What if the truths we hold, the beliefs we've built our lives around, are just fragments of something far greater? What if the life you're living, the beliefs you hold, the choices you've made, are not built on truth, but on stories you've never questioned? For centuries, we believed the sun revolved around us, that diseases came from curses, that slavery was acceptable. These were truths until they weren't. The truth of one era often becomes the myth of the next. Truth always evolves, not because it changes, but because our understanding of it deepens. What felt true yesterday might not hold up today. Imagine for a moment if the truths we hold most tightly today were nothing more than stepping stones, markers on a journey toward deeper understanding. What if aging, for instance, wasn't inevitable? We've come to accept that our bodies will weaken and health will decline. But what if that's not how it has to be? What if aging could be slowed or even reversed? Would you live differently, knowing the years ahead could be just as vibrant as those behind? And what about the limits we think define us? We're taught that reality ends where our five senses do, that if we can't touch it, hear it, or see it, it doesn't exist. But what if that's not true? What if there's a whole world beyond the physical, dimensions of perception and connection we've only begun to glimpse? What about the story of humanity itself? We were taught that human civilization began around 5,000 years ago, but new discoveries challenge this timeline. What if the story of humanity isn't linear but cyclical, of rise, fall, and rediscovery? What other civilizations have we forgotten? We believe the Great Pyramid of Giza was simply a tomb, built with primitive tools and sheer manpower. But its precise engineering, astronomical alignment, and construction methods raise questions that challenge that story. What else might these ancient structures have been? Even today, look at the systems around us. Money has become the heartbeat of our survival, the measure of value and power. But what if it didn't have to be? Imagine a world where collaboration and shared resources replaced competition and accumulation. How might that reshape not just society, but the way you think about security and worth? When you seek truth, you don't just change what you see, you change who you are. You stop living by the limits others have handed you. You stop clinging to certainty and start embracing possibility. And like the blindfolded people in the story, we often rely on the small part we can grasp while missing the bigger picture. But what happens when we remove those blindfolds? When we step back, open our minds, and explore perspectives beyond our own, the whole picture begins to emerge. So I ask you, what truths have you accepted without question? What truths are holding you back? And what might change if you dared to step into the unknown? The moment we question what we think we know, we open the door to something far greater, something we never thought was possible.